Hi, everyone. Susan here, trying to get the mic out of the way. How are you? And welcome to another live show. So happy to have you with me today. I am talking about how to gain confidence in dating and in relationships. So it's not just for those of you that are actively dating, but it's for those of you that are entering a new relationship, those of you who are in a relationship already. I know that there's a lot of material out there on pregame, like pick a place that makes you feel comfortable, a time, a date. Make sure that you have enough time to refocus and meditate before you go, or whatever you do to clear your head. Find an outfit that you feel confident in, So, topic starters, there is a lot of material on that type of stuff. I want to talk to you about the inner game of confidence because every time I open up my email for your video requests, the dominant topic that I am receiving is, oh God, how can I weather this storm of dating today? Not just getting in the door and finding somebody that's real and authentic, like we spoke about in last week's show. And if you haven't caught it, please take a look for, how to know if somebody's real or fake. It was very good talking about authenticity and filtering. Oh my goodness. Well, hello, Stride. 199. Thank you so much. Any of you that have a question, don't hesitate to put it in super chat, or if you have a little gift you want to give, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. Oh, how do I move this sideways? You see it differently here. Okay. Thank you so much. If you have a question, Stride, just let me know. And Jean, so nice to, some of you are clients of mine. This is so wonderful. I love seeing this. So I am more interested in moving into more sophisticated conversations because you all are far more sophisticated. Like, let's get real here. You really are. So if I don't want to dumb it down for you, I really don't want to. So I'm going to be talking about the inner game and go over 4 things that I don't think are given enough attention, that are real game changers as far as not only keeping your self-confidence, but quite frankly, if you haven't had self-confidence, giving it to you. Jan, 50, my man, how are you doing? So, oh my goodness, just to let you know, I'm getting married next month. What is your advice to be less nervous before the wedding ceremony? Thanks for all this advice. Okay, everybody, because it's a live show, I'm going to have to just deviate for just a second here because it is about me paying attention to all of you. And for those of you that want to jump past this in the pre-record, probably pick it up at minute 8 or 9. We have worked through this. I've worked with Jan, so I'm very excited about this. There's no way not to be nervous for a wedding. And when you're standing at the aisle, I mean, you can't even think or breathe. Your heart's going to be beating so fast. Give the details to other people. Hire out anything that is specific that has to be done to another person. Delegate. Hunt for a responsible, reliable person that, like, oh, I'll handle all the seating. Not just some friend that says they'll do that. Okay, because I've done things like this before. Somebody who wants to help me with a public presentation. Oh, they're going to gather all the people. They were off drinking at a corner. Like that doesn't work. So put out the money, do your due diligence, hire a professional, one for the event location, one to handle the crowds, one for the flowers, one for the this, one for the that, the catering service. The more that you then get a project manager, your mother, her mother, the sister you trust, to be the whip that takes care of everybody. You get a project manager to handle it so that you can just focus on getting dressed and saying, I do. Okay? I hope that helps you. Jan, congratulations. Oh my goodness, have we been round and round with your dating life? Huge congratulations. Anna from Romania, I was in your country. It is beautiful. Thank you so much. Susan, you're the best. YouTube was made for you. I've learned a lot of things for you, and I'm grateful for you. Much love. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate this. Okay, what do we have going here? Oh my goodness, everybody's here. Hi, Richard, Lorena, AB. Hi, Effie. Thomas, Sally, how are you doing? Another client of mine, Lorena and Simon, beautiful people all over the world. So maybe Lorena and Simon are here. That's wonderful. Mary Jane from Toronto. Oh yeah, hey, how are you doing? Okay, back to dating confidence. Now, you might have noticed this from the thumbnails. YouTube begs me to treat you all like you're stupid. I do the best I can to create an engaging thumbnail, but understand we're going to go deeper today. All right. You have enough information on the other things. I want to talk about what's not being spoken about. Number one. Now, we've done this before in the filtering process. Number one, before you date, while you're dating, when you're with your partner, all throughout the arc of your romantic involvement, you need to ask yourself, why? Why am I doing this? The thing under the thing. We, as humans, mistake the acquisition of getting a goal to be that's our happiness. When I get the car, I'll be happy. When I get the house, I'll be happy. When I get a boyfriend, I'll be happy. When I get a wife, when I get a girlfriend, I'll be happy. That'll make me happy. What we are looking for, in essence, is the thing under the thing, not the icon. What's your why? I want to have a family. I want a partner by my side. I want to feel like I belong. I want relevance. Whatever your thing is, that is where you're going. So if in your sniffing around in the first dates, first couple of days into dating, even in the beginning of a relationship, you've got this dream, keep focusing on your why. That is your rock. That is your truth. That is your true north. That why is guiding why you even bothered to get back out into dating again, why you even bothered to partner. If you forget that, you will then become obsessed, concerned, anxious, trying to fiddle around with the person. Remember, the person was just the thing. They were the thing under the real thing that you want. This little mental separation that you can do, this gap, allows you a bit of sanity for real. It really does. It allows you to think clearly, maybe for the first time ever, to create that distance between why am I in partnership? Why did I even start down this journey? Those of you in a relationship, newly seeing somebody, I don't feel safe. My why was I want to feel safe and protected. I think I love this person, but do I love the dream? Do I love them? I think I love being safe. That is my dream. That's the color, the texture, the embodiment of my dream. So this takes away the power of the person. You see, when we give that person all sorts of power to appreciate us, to like us, to choose us, to want us, to get into a relationship with us, to have sex with us, to marry us, to live with us, what a lot of power you're giving them. But why did you want them in the begin with? The why. So you understand where I'm going with that? If you have any questions, I'm going to read through this I want to make sure that I've answered this clearly. It is always the thing under the thing. All right. And for those of you who are watching me, you might see me going like this. No matter how many glasses I have on, I have to actually put this into a zoom, kind of a close up. Stride, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, let's see. Love your lips so plump, Snow Queen. Okay, who does this? It's called I think it's called bee sting or lip plump. Oh, I should be tagging these things. I really should. Oh Lord, it's just from a drugstore. I want to say it's like Revlon or something. I don't. Maybe it's L'Oreal. Maybe I'll tag it. I'll put a little tag at the bottom of this because I know exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Let's see. Patience from Ghana. Okay. Erica, good advice. Susan and Susan Knights. Hello, Brian Pablo. Okay. There's a change of time for some of you. Welcome that you found the show. Last week we had a very small live audience because people were, we changed times. Arizona never changes. but everybody around me changes. So suddenly I'm on Pacific time. So are there any questions on the why you're dating? Because that reason in and of itself, always going back to that and questioning, is the thing that will show you whether you're on the right track or not, and whether you're, trying to struggle through issues and get it to work when in essence, it maybe this isn't going to work because it doesn't work with your why. Okay? All right. Now, onward. I'm going to do something. Oh God, Susie is going to try and touch something on the computer. So this we are hoping, hang on, bear with me all. This is the bane of my existence, anything technology wise. Oh Lord God. Okay. Okay. Hit the button for like Susan. Hi, John Gallagher. Why is it when I watch Susan? Okay, wait. You guys, okay, hang on just a minute. Oh my goodness, this is driving me crazy. Okay. John says, I end up like Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School listening to the English professor. Well, if you like the English professor, that's good. Okay. Stride, thank you for this. 9.99 euros. Thank you so much for this. Oh, pounds. Sorry, my dear. I'm 26, divorced, mom of one. My husband love bombed me in the beginning, and as soon as I got pregnant, he started to strangle me and abuse me. I don't trust myself picking partners anymore. Okay, good that you're divorced. Um, Self-trust. We are going to be covering this in how you do this. All right. I have said repeatedly the goal, it is very tenuous to give the power of trust to a human being. We are inherently selfish, short-sighted, impatient, narcissistic, self-involved, busy, thoughtless, and oftentimes kind and generous and loving. But we need to trust ourselves. You were fooled. There's a difference. Go back and rewatch what we did last week about are they real or fake. People can keep up the act for a very long time. Okay? They can keep contained who they really are until intimate relationships are literally miracle grow on like weeds. It's just like everything comes out. Okay? Every character defect comes out. It is not, I don't think it's your fault that one man misrepresented himself. If you say that every single guy you've ever met has done this, you have something you really need to go to therapy about, right? Trusting yourself, we are going to show you today and look at everything that has to do with filtering, because I want you all in a dating context with confidence. The first thing I've heightened here in this discussion is to come from yourself and be looking at this situation, observing it, for does it match anything like where you want to go? Is as you sift through time and conversations with this person, are you feeling like they're giving you that stability? Okay, I've got more. So hang on here, and I thank you for your contribution. Okay, Thomas, 2000. Oh my God, you're so wonderful. I've found in the past decades, if you're not looking for dating, naturally it evolves. Okay. Once you actively start looking for dating, it necessarily creates needy state, usually won't work out. Okay, good, because we're going to talk about needy and how needy happens. Thomas, thank you so much for this, and I really appreciate that. And that is when you hear the phrase, oh yeah, love always comes to you when you're not looking for it. If you've heard me say this before, it is my belief it's because you're not tense. When you're not looking for love, you're not, right? You're not anxious. I'm sorry, that's my dog imitation. Like Nika does this with her little paws. So what it's saying to you is that you are living your life. You are busy with your goals, your friends. You are doing your thing. And that is very sexy. It is very compelling. And the energy of you being totally aligned with yourself, not desperate, not hungry, not whatever, like you're cool. They are an addition to an already up and running fabulous life. See, this is what we're looking for, that kind of partnership. And I really appreciate your saying, I wasn't looking for decades and nothing happened. Now I'm looking and nothing has evolved. Erica, hang in there. I got more information for you. All right. So, number one, please, and when you're in a relationship, always remember your why. And if you're not getting your why satisfied, have very open conversations with your partner and explain to them, I need to feel blank. An example of what would make me feel blank is because do not think they know what they're looking at. And especially if you're speaking to a man, for God's sake, ladies, if you're straight and you're talking to a man, don't say, I need to feel excited. He doesn't know what you mean. Do you want to go to a Formula One event? Do you want to go out at night and do a pub crawl? What do you want? One of those, what do they call them? An escape room? He doesn't know what you mean. Be very specific and give examples of what would make you feel excited. Now, on to number two that I want to discuss, because we're talking about the mental game for creating and maintaining confidence. All right. Okay. So, number two, dating is not about gaining their approval. Now, I know we say it, we fluff it off. We're like, okay, yeah, it isn't. This is why when you're meeting somebody new and you're dating somebody, I want you to be thinking about this is a discovery phase. You're not making decisions right now. You're simply taking in the input. You're taking in the data. That's why for some of you, I have dating for data, right? You know my duty dating thing. So this is where you're simply discovering if your goals and their disposition and your disposition match yours. That's all you're trying to do in this, right? This is what we're trying to accomplish. I'm going to try and adjust one more thing in this. Please bear with me, everybody. I get so crazy when I do this. I keep thinking the whole thing is going to go bye-bye. All right. Now, uh, online dating's ruined the natural course of attraction. Yes. And JB, that's right. It seems there is a fear of missing out. Yeah, the FOMO attitude this day. No one seems to want something meaningful. I hope so. I have to contest what you're saying there. It feels like there aren't people that you meet that want the meaningful thing that you do. This entire channel and everybody on it is intentional. Nobody's going to listen that long to any of my conversations if all they wanted was a quick conversation starter tip or how to look sexy tonight. Trust me, people find love every day. I'm just giving you some of the mechanics to do mentally here to keep you in your sovereignty and in your knowingness of I am here exploring and I want to see if there's anything here that I want to continue to explore. It is natural for all of us to want approval. Okay. So this goes back to what I'm saying. It's not about their approval. If you go into a dating thing hoping they like you, of course we do. We wouldn't want to show up and somebody goes, good God, you're ugly. I can't even do this. Oh man. Yeah, none of us want that. And it really rarely happens. But what we're trying to do is learn, discover. This is where you have to keep kind of an open mind while at the same time being very active with your why. Because again, the nature of a person who might work with you in a long-term relationship may not have, they may come in a slightly different variation than what you would idealize. Yes, but all the component pieces are there. So I have a lady friend that I've reconnected with when I was way back in Crystal Springs in New Jersey. And she and her husband were fabulous to me. And she is this large, tall, gorgeous, gracious, kind of actually like a Grace Bumbry, big like an operatic black woman, just embodied in her power, just exudes power. And her partner is short, rotund, and bald and much older. Now, you would look at this couple and you'd think, no way. And she does a lot of heavy spiritual work. And she said, Susan, I kept going back, looking at this, going, there's no way. Come on. And she said, he's my guy. I kept resisting it. And she said, every time I turned around, and he's an incredible man, my best golf buddy ever, Norman, loved him. Complete visual mismatch. But the why was there. They've been together 39, 40 years. I mean, now she's nursing him through cancer. I mean, they are like this because their why, and it came differently. So just, you are not there to seek their approval of them wanting you. I'm going to give you a quote, a Susan quote that I made for all of you last night. Seeking their approval creates an automatic lack of confidence. I'm going to read it to you again. Seeking their approval creates an automatic lack of confidence. So here's how we apply this in the real world. In a dating situation, in a new getting together, sleeping together, hoping it doesn't fall off the cliff situation. Remember that it is not about their approval, it is about your discovery. And if you see that they fall by the wayside, ghost you, become inconsistent, then it is you who makes an active decision. This does not match my why. Do you see how that turns it around? You look at their bad behavior, and instead of saying, what did I do wrong? For those of you that buy the merch, it's not me, it's you. You're looking at this going, oh no, you no longer match my why. I'm out. You matched my why until you didn't. You're not seeking their approval. You are assessing whether they are somebody you want in your sandbox with you. It's your decision. It is not theirs. Do you see what I'm saying? You are doing the assessing because make no mistake about it, they are doing the same thing. You don't think they're assessing you? Of course they are. The two of you may not have the same why. And if you don't have the same why, maybe they wanted something fast and furious and short term, but they told you they're looking for a long-term love and they're looking for their soulmate. You actually said, yeah, I'm looking for my soulmate. I'm looking for long-term. I like marriage. And they're going, yeah, I like it too. But their why? Mm-mm-mm. So what happens there? You're like, oh, you don't match my why. I don't approve of you. Next. I want you to think about that. Okay? Really think about that. Again, the minute you start seeking their approval, you will automatically, without fail, be on the back foot, losing your confidence, weak, insecure, needy, and you will have forgotten who you are. The decision maker in a new exploration. Okay? Nafthusa. I have been single for years and can't stop dreaming about my former only love from a decade ago. I'm not sure if I could ever move on from him. Feels like I'm betraying myself when I meet other men. So first of all, Nathusa, I've never worked with you and I would love to work with you. And thank you wholeheartedly for your contribution here, the $10. I really, really appreciate it. So you need to isolate what it was that he gave you that nobody else has given you, because he probably added to your why pot. And I want to ask you personally, why didn't it work out? If you screwed up, it might have been 10 years, but you can still give an apology just for your end of it. If he screwed up and wasn't ready, well, then he wasn't your partner. So because I don't know the rest of it, it's harder for me to disconnect you. But I can tell you this. There's no such thing as being faithful to a dead dream. Okay? Don't even try. I'm cheating on him if I have a better love. That is the point of evolution. He was a prototype. If he's not the guy, he's the next guy. Okay. So I work with all sorts of people, right? I had a gay. I've had several gay men that are very sensitive, very loving, and they are being asked to get into a relationship with two other people. And they have to make the same assessments. Oh, did I do balloons? Maybe I did balloons here. They are being asked to make the same kind of an assessment. Like, do I want to be here? And am I fit to fit into this situation? But their why is, I really want love one-on-one. And I said to this person, it's different with each case, but the last person that I spoke to, I said, let's examine this. Let's examine this because I like a lot of what I hear. It's messy. If you have the disposition to give this a shot, at least will one get to resolution. So I'm a big proponent of in a time frame, giving something a shot to clear your own mental, well, what if? I said, you're going to come back to me a little while. Let me know how it's going. Okay. Because if it gets too rugged, too out of control, you say no. But I said, this person that you feel so drawn to, who is currently partnered, and all they want you for is like a little treat, right? I want you to remember that he could be your prototype. And I'm talking to you, Nathusa. The thing that you thought was the highest bar you ever found could just be the example of where you are meant to go. So by you holding on to that and locking into it as this has to be the one, exactly what I told him, instead of falling in love with the thing you can't get, what about utilizing that as an example of what you want to have and it's on your way? Because I believe in his case, if it's not the next guy, it's the one after. And I believe that he fully pulled into physical reality this example of somebody that resonated with him. We don't know that as you spin out the multitudes of this story in like a multiverse of romantic possibilities, right? That this would have been the best choice. It seemed like, oh my God, this is the best I've ever seen. So this is it. This has to be it. Talk about lack of confidence. My one thing, and I can't have it. So I would suggest, I would ask you to try an experiment for me, just for me. Nathusa, you've been with me for years now on the Thursday show. Just try playing with your mind a little bit and say, what if the possibility exists that he may have been a prototype that I literally pulled into the universe, lived in physical form, so it's a reality, it's not a hope. And then on top of that, oh my God, he, for whatever reason, obviously wasn't the one, or he'd still be here, but I'm on my way. And that mental energy and that forward leap could land you in a whole different space that's going to vibe into a whole different kind of man, because you released what doesn't work. It did architecturally, but it didn't in reality. Got it? I hope that helps you. Okay. All right, everybody. Oh, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard. So I hope Richard is talking to Nathusa, and I hope that that applies to you too. B, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Okay, Brian, I was in that boat for years. Susan, thank you for sharing that. I had to learn that on this life. Okay, let me see now. Okay, so you understand that? The minute that if you want to have confidence in dating, in the new rocky days of a first relationship, when you're getting to know them, any of this, if you want to have confidence, I beg you, okay, stop looking for their approval. Just look to see, to discover them. Could they be a match for you? Another thing that this fellow did that we all do, the one that I was speaking about, the most recent, after maybe 3 conversations, had decided that this is my person. Okay. So be very careful of throwing somebody immediately into your dream because you meet them on a first date or you've had a second or third date. And oh my gosh, they have the greatest job and they're so good looking and they're so attentive and they're so nice and they love their mom and they have a dog. And oh my gosh, I could just see it. And whatever you got going on, you can have basically under 4 or 5 hours of conversation and have decided they're the one. You will trip up every time. Okay, don't do it yourself. Please let them prove that they are the one. Again, you're the one with the steering wheel in your hand. For those of you who've taken my group class, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a requirement before they start the class. They must send me a photograph of their hands on a steering wheel. And for those of you listening here, you can do that too. You understand what I'm saying? You also can take a photograph of yourself with your hands on the steering wheel of the car, have somebody take it and remind yourself, I'm the one driving these decisions. These are decisions. This is what gives you confidence. You are assessing, you're exploring, discovering, assessing, and making decisions every step of the way. You are deciding whether you want to continue to participate or not. This has nothing to do with their approval. It has nothing to do with rejection. We've just got to understand it from that. Turn that camera angle around and just look at it this way. And I promise you, if you need to, mark the time code on where we are. We're 30 minutes in. And if you have to listen to this again, please do. Okay. I think the relationship that we had is what I truly long for. Is the best year of my life, a literal heaven on earth. Okay, you did it once. Now, Thuza, you can do it again. Let's start to see the new version of that as a reality. Okay. How do we overcome the fear of rejection? Oh my goodness, you are just unbelievable. But Sadie, you're number 4, and it's exactly what I'm talking about. The second one. Actually, now we're going on to number 3. Okay. Your mental frame in all of this, even the beginning of the relationship, is exploration. That's it. Exploration, accumulating data. Do you understand? And I say this because, again, you're deciding, you're making the decisions. And in order to do this, you have to be open and curious to what they're bringing to you. Now, there's something interesting about an open and curious framework here. When somebody thinks that you are just open and curious, they will reveal a lot more. If you are in judgment and waiting for them to answer things exactly as you think they should, they may start playing a script for you. And that's where the false comes out. So it is pretty wise to draw somebody out and just keep nodding your head and see where they go with it. I've had men tell me that, they've slept with their best friend's wife. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, there must have been a really powerful connection. No, it was just sexual. I'm listening. My inner dialogue is like, I got every 4-letter word going in my head, and I'm just smiling, going, really? Ah, thank you for feeling so comfortable that you revealed the underbelly of what you're actually going to do to me and where you stand in these relationships that you want that are so. Listen, number 4 is what I got to talk about, and this is about rejection. And I'm going to frame it this way. All right. I want you to become an optimistic realist. That's his new Susan term. I don't know. Maybe it is a term. Maybe it's in like economics books. I don't know. An optimistic realist. Now, I say this because, 1, rejection happens, partnerships end. Can we please remember that that is a fact of life? It is. Doesn't mean it always happens, doesn't mean it's going to happen to you, but there is a strong likelihood. Okay? We will all go through rejection. Every one of us, from a job interview to something we wanted to get, to a friend who suddenly doesn't want to talk to us anymore, to a partner that has decided they want to date Sylvia instead, or whatever. You know, whatever it is, it's going to happen. Or you grow apart and they reject your why. So I want you to remember, hey, this is a real thing. Let's not live in a fantasy. Be a hopeless romantic that is also living in the real world. Be optimistic. Be optimistic, meaning look for the best possible that could come, but be a realist. I know the way of the world. I'm going to be rejected. And to get back to your question, Sadie, how do we overcome it? 1, you can remember that if they rejected you, your whys aren't the same. It wouldn't have been anything anyway. Whatever you're going for, whatever they're going for, they're not the same. So this would have revealed itself. So the question is, if it's on the first date, would you rather that they dump you then or dump you 6 months later after they've used you and kind of thrown you away? I mean, which is going to hurt less? We're talking about your ego here. Okay. We have to get comfortable with rejection and the fact that I know it's a bruise, like, oh, really? You didn't want me? Oh, God, what's wrong with you? And if you have to, go into a little tirade. And I don't mind. I'm actually one of those coaches that doesn't mind when you get angry when you're rejected. You know why? Because you getting huffy means, hey, I know I have value. I'm pissed that you didn't see it. I'd rather you get that way than why didn't they want me? Because that's a weaker position. So Sadie, you got to turn that camera around all the way to a whole nother angle because you're just shooting this the wrong way. You will never, ever, 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 ever have confidence when you're wondering if they will accept you and approve of you. Ever. Got to go out there, hold your head high, know what you want, and it's you choosing. You are choosing them. Because trust me, they're choosing you or not. You got to get on the same game here. Remember, I'm choosing you. I'm not choosing you. I like you now. Not sure that this works now. And in a real relationship, obviously, you're going to have conversations, right? But these are just the beginnings. Okay. So people are going to misrepresent themselves. I had it done to me. See the best, hope I can turn it around. There is a grace period where we're working with a partner and working with a partner, and we can't keep thinking, maybe I can bring out the best in them. Maybe I can turn this around. You give them all the tools in the world. It boils down to two things. They don't want to, or they can't. That's it. I need to keep this very, very simple so that I demystify all of this dating stuff so you can actually get through the weeds and see the real stuff. It's not that it is at the end of the day, it's not that complicated. They want what you want. They don't want what you want. They don't want the way you want it. You don't want the fact that they don't want the way you want it. You will reject people, but they can't reject you. I know our ego goes crazy. Really, I can reject. I don't. 10 guys go out with that. I don't want them. The one doesn't want me. What the hell's wrong with him? I know. Okay, good for you. But that's okay, right? So remember, okay, humans, we're going to have partners that are going to let us down. We're going to have people that we're dating that are being inconsistent. We're going to have people that want to pretend there's something other than themselves because actually they don't have a self. And we covered that last week. Go check out How Do I Know If Someone's Real or Fake? People are going to be hurtful. They're going to be selfish. They're going to be short-sighted. They're going to be human. They're also going to be wonderful. And they can be loving. And they can be by our side in times that we didn't think anybody would. So this is why we are hoping to become an optimistic realist. We know how the game goes. You've got to understand human nature, not be startled by it. But the confidence that you get is to constantly getting into harmony with what you want and remembering that you are actively choosing or not. You're doing your research here. This is what dating is. It really is like Nika sniffing other doggies in the park. This is what we're talking about. And I want to give you a quote that I have from Allowing Magnificence. And for those of you who loved Allowing Magnificence, I think B wanted to. I think the first time I spoke with B is she wanted to translate it into German or something. It was beautiful. Allowing Magnificence is part of a 600-page book, so I took about 150 pages out. And it's not about dating, okay? It's about you. It's about why challenges happen, how we can reframe them, why they happen. Don't just say everything happens for a reason. Like there's bad stuff that happens. You got to hunt for that reason and build upon it. And it came out in an audio booklet. So, I've had a lot of quotes that I pulled years ago that I would post as, like a motivational quote or whatever. And I found this one from Allowing Magnificence, and I just want to read it to you. All our attempts at love are the dues paid to this magnificent opportunity. All of our attempts at love are the dues paid to this magnificent opportunity. So, love is an opportunity for us to meet ourselves through merging with another, to uncover stuff that needs to be fixed, to help a partner do the same, to have a loving hand to walk us through this, ideally, as we grow together and the union gets stronger. It's a reflection of the divine through the human. It's quite extraordinary. That is why it is so triggering. That's why it's so potent. That's why it's so powerful. That's why it's the one thing that affects every single human being, besides mere survival. Because nobody is impervious to this ride. Even the most cold-hearted people at some point, or people that can't feel a thing, will have wanted somebody for a minute or forever. So it is a human experience. Now, I hope you understand this. Again, the way to gain confidence is to come from the you, you looking with an open mind, keen to explore this person in front of you, to watch this thing roll out. To you already know we've had so many conversations on filtering and boundaries and communication skills and being very honest, so that I do that uh, to give them a roadmap of how I play. I want that as the foundation. They may have do not assume that the person you're talking to knows how to function in a relationship. If they are under 30, they don't. If they're under 38, they have minimal information. Millennials have a little bit more, but you have to deal with the baggage of the wounds that you have from the hooking up. Love sex positive for women. Men are having sex with somebody. Can't blame you for being the other side. And you have your rights too. And I know that, but the toll of not having a container, that whether it's for a night or a weekend or a month or a year, where you feel honored, has nothing to do about time. It has to do about the conversations and how you enter it and what you create. Assume they know nothing. Be surprised if they do. Know the architecture you want to employ as your safety net. Be an active creator of what this is. You are all terrified and feeling in fear because you're letting them drive the car. Now, I know you're going to say, oh, feminine energy. Let's talk about what do you want. You don't think feminine energy is, oh, yeah, you drive the car, honey. And in the back seat, they've actually got the remote control to the steering wheel. I mean, come on. So let's really think about this. Two people are participating in this design. You have equal say. You are just presenting what you want, seeing if they match, and seeing how you negotiate the parts that are a little tricky in between. That's it. That's how you maintain your confidence, because you're very clear on your dream, on your goals, and how you want to proceed. Again, if you have to help your partner to learn, help them. Now, it's all about you. Does anybody have any questions for me? Okay. Now, Thusa says one of the best questions I've found to be revealing of someone's character is when you ask them about their best friend, you can learn a lot about what they value in people. Okay. Anything else? Because this time is yours. If you have no questions, anything? Okay. B and Gwyneth, you are so wonderful. Oh, Emil, you can ask in Super Chat if you'd like Susan to see and answer your question. So until I hear something from somebody else, if you have a question, put it in Super Chat. I might grab yours by accident or just because it's sitting in front of me. I want to remind you, so going back to allowing magnificence, I had been asked repeatedly to do an audio. They now have an audio version of that. And it was so beautiful because it cost me a very large fortune to record professionally breakup triage, which is 33 minutes long. Cost me a fortune. Like literally, I was uncomfortable paying the bill. And all the work I had to do for audibles, I had to hire a technician to break down each chapter and then submit it to them because it created the anyways, it's so complicated. This time I pushed a button and there's an agreeable AI voice reading, and she's really not bad. And for those of you that just want to get the information, I have to tell you, she does a really, really good job. And all I did was push a button, but it enables you to have Audible and have it on Amazon. So I want you to check the link. There's the book, there's the ebook, and now there's the audiobook. And I think there's some special deals where if you buy the ebook, you get the audiobook for free or for $1.99. It changes all the time. So go check that out. That is about how life's challenges carve our soul purpose. That's another thing from that. But it's the universe doesn't come here to torture you. I promise you. We do that to ourselves. Life is challenging. Okay. That's the realist part. Life is challenging. Let us not forget that. But it is how we utilize those challenges and how we view them and how we think creatively to get another frame in our mind to participate in this so that we can come through this as a higher, more integrated version of ourselves and participate. Yes, it's all about the learning and the discovery. Thomas, like 19 out of 20. Let's see. Okay. Um, okay, everybody. So I think you're all good for today. Um, Emil, you couldn't find a super chat. Sometimes people can't do that. So I'll answer this before I get off. Let me see. I'd seen one of my ex making YouTube videos about acting. She was an actress in those videos. So I remember the good days and want to start to see her again. I texted her, but she didn't reply to me. Okay. Again, what I said earlier to Nafthuza, I would use this as your prototype. When they go, they change. When we part, we change. Every moment you're slightly different than the moment before. And that's because, we don't stay static. There's a lot of information that keeps coming through every day. And everything that we learn puts us in a slightly different aroma, category, timbre, shade. And so the person that we left or that left us years ago, we idealize this moment that was perfect. And the human memory has a really interesting thing how it'll go back and forget certain details and make it look a lot better. But again, to lock onto a former person, if it causes us pain and suffering, is not the appropriate way to lock into them. If you have a former person in your life that was pivotal to you and important, then I think the discussion in your mind should be like, gosh, for that space and time, that was so beautiful. I'm really so grateful about that. And I got to experience that and learn this. And there was an ending because it was different. It I wish people would stop judging the value of a relationship on the time spent together. You all know that you can have a meaningful connection with somebody that changes the route of your entire life in 2 weeks. And literally like that. It is about how we show up, who we're meeting, how we've created this thing, what we brought forward. It's completely different. I applaud people that are able to do the negotiation and the renegotiation of being in a long-term committed relationship and who value that just because it gets hard doesn't mean we go, well, next. Because relationships, you get into some long-term, there's a lot that has to be done. You have to be committed to the partnership, committed to the ideal, committed to the fact that your partner, that you will be there for them. And then again, observing and discovering if they're still committed to you. Okay. Here we go, Richard. You're so nice. Richard comes on with his $20. You're so sweet. Susan, regarding step 4, a few times I've felt I didn't get the full reasons for rejection by a partner. How do I best proceed in that situation if we keep feeling that there are other unexpressed reasons? You may never know. And here's the big, huge reveal. They may not know. And we think it's so conscious. We think it has a reason. So if you did break up triage, step number 1 to get over anything is to best plausible answer you've got. I don't know if these are partners for you or these are dates. A partner that leaves you, that breaks up with you, that rejects you, you are owed an explanation, even a bullshit one. But if they can't honestly tell you what it is, then the love has simply died for them and they've just decided, because if they tell you what it is, you might want to work on it. There are a multitude of reasons, but I want you to be very clear that this question comes from a position of wondering, is there something I need to correct? Why did this happen? I don't think it's just like, I'm curious because I don't get it. So good for you to ask. But from what, in our brief conversations here, Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, I can only say that I feel like you're a really good guy. And I think sometimes we are dating people who do not know themselves. Last week's discussion on real versus fake people. They don't know who they are. They get into something bigger than and they just leave. They leave, they don't say. If they can't tell you, they may not know. If they can't tell you, they may be terrified to reveal some really superficial, ridiculous thing about themselves. So, how much does it matter? Really, how unresolved is it? Why is it? What's the why under this burr in your side that's bothering you? What's the why? Because I need to know if I'm okay, because I need to know if I did something wrong, because I need to correct myself for the future. I think you're good. I mean, if we had a session, I could tell you exactly, but I don't know. I think I think you do you're on this show trying to learn, right? Like you anybody that takes the time to actually educate themselves about a relationship is extraordinary. Do you realize this is the only thing that everybody does for which they have no training? I mean, you're a window washer. You got to learn how to wash a window. I mean, any job, anything that we do requires some kind of education. Going through customs, like this is the only thing that nobody gets any training and nobody gets any education, and they're completely on their own, just making decisions that, like in the moment, like oh, oh, oh. So, Richard, thank you so much. Um, I don't think there are a lot of unexpressed reasons. I think they would have told you if they had something concrete to say. And if they couldn't have said it, they were never a partner because you need somebody who's actually communicative. I hope that helps. I hope. Thank you, Richard. Ultra Garbage Media. Now that's a name. $9.99. This is your third conversation with me. Thank you so much. I found out my crush moved away to New Jersey. Well, that's already an issue. I couldn't stop thinking about this person. Strong connection. He had toxic friends, so we stopped talking. They're gone now. Should I let go? I don't understand why you don't contact them. Were they bad with you or just the friends were bad? If this guy has kind of like sorted himself out enough that he was smart enough to pull away from the toxic guys, the fact that he moved, unless he moved away from you, because I don't know the story here. I mean, I would reach out and say, hey, I was thinking about you. What's going on? Love to catch up. This feels like unresolved business. When you say, should I let go? That means you are unresolved. It's either something we do together in your head to let you see, oh no, the facts I don't know. Oh no, no, no. He said, no, I'm not going in that direction. You're only a friend. I'm not looking at you romantically, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what was said in between. If he gave you a hard no, your friend only, you're not romance material, then don't torture yourself because you say crush. If he was somebody where it was kind of blossoming with a lot of sexual tension, it was truly mutual, and he just got pulled away and you tried to be with him, but the friends were kind of getting in the way and the friends are now gone, then it feels like something you might want to just revisit and just ask what's going on. But I don't understand the circumstance, okay? So I don't know which way whether you should let go or not, okay? Those are the two ways. Let go if it was a fantasy. He's a hard no. Your friend, I only see you as a friend. That's not where I'm going. That's a hard no. You let go. Anything ambivalent, reach out. Get it off your chest. Okay? I hope that helps. Thank you. All right, everybody. Let's see. Do we have anything else here? I love those names. Okay. Bye, Susan. You're getting hotter each week. I've reached a stage. I think people are more similar than different. Just pick what did they say? Just pick your mate and move and move and move on forward. Excellent. Richard, you are welcome. I hope that helps you. The friends were toxic. I'm debating contacting, but I'm afraid. You just spent $10 asking me, and you can't pick up the phone or send a text? Come on, man. First of all, figure out what you're going to say and why your reason is. I suggest you do something along the line of, haven't seen you, just thought about you today. Want to make sure everything's okay. That's it. Don't be scared. We live in torment when we have lack of resolution. This is oftentimes why I ask people to go into a nebulous relationship for a month or so with guidance, directives that I've given them to test if there is anything there, really. Because I know that everybody else would say leave, but I know human nature. If you think maybe, what if? What if is torture? What if never leaves? What if never gets answered? And because what if is never resolved, you can't move on. So sometimes going back in to something that or staying in a relationship that's decaying and trying 5 more different things under directives and under supervision like I do will give you the answer that, wow, I did everything, Susan, and people walk away. It hurts, but they walk away. I can never tell people just don't see them. It's over. I know human nature. They're just going. They're going to be left with that stuff in their head. Valerie, $10. Hi, long distance. He has rescheduled on me going to him twice. Ooh, this is not good. Was really excited for me to go to him. He is now coming to me soon. Okay. I thought the second time was a go. Should I see him? Yeah. So you have a logistical problem, and your logistical problem is making you wonder how committed he is. If you have a chance to be with him one more time, you can feel it. I don't know the situation, Valerie. He could be so tied up in work. I don't know how far apart you live with each other. I don't know if it's something like airfare is an issue. I don't know if it's that long distance relationships need to have an endpoint of the people deciding how they're going to function as a couple. Okay. Long distance relationships have the problem of we need to be together. And I'm not saying together like this is not going to go on forever, right? So at some point, you're going to have to make a decision. Do we invest in this enough to get ourselves into a real coupledom? And what are the rules around that? Completely different than lat marriage, and I'll talk about that at another time. Your issue is to get together. What is your timeline? What does he want? What do you want? Is it marriage? Is it family? Is it kids? You need to start having those conversations now, because if he balks, I don't know where you are in the cycle of your commitment. So there's a lot that answer yes, see him. Stuff you have to figure out for yourself. What do I have? What is the label? What are the rules of our relationship? Don't be scared when I say that. You got to have an understanding of what's okay. These are discussions. At what point are you going to get together? Where would you like to live? How can you work this out? Is one willing to move to be with the other? If they move, what guarantees are they given? There's a lot going on here. Listen, anybody who wants to work with me, please, I love working one-on-one. Consider a day with Susan. I do it in Arizona when I'm here. I do it in New York. New York, oh my God. You're going to come to the most prestigious club in all of New York. I get to take you to lunch. Oh my God, it is beyond gorgeous. The terraces overlooking Fifth Avenue. This club is amazing. I host you at the Core Club. It is, look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about, CORE Club. You are my guest for the 3 hours that we work together. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's lush. I give you the kind of experience I want. Here in Arizona, we have a cowboy experience. We're going to have a beautiful luxury hotel, and I will spend time with you, and I take you to lunch. In part, the lunch thing is to break up the tension and give your mind, your frontal lobe, a chance to cool down. And there's a lot that happens in the understanding and sifting in more casual conversation. Brian Pablo, $50. Oh my gosh, you are so sweet. Oh my goodness, I adore you. Oh, who's so big and strong? Oof. I got my merch line, everybody. Check it out. These are quotes for you. We have a new one coming out that Lauren has designed, a little bit more metaphysical, a little bit more. See this, it's the comment, but it's what you think. I've always been intrigued, not by the words, but what the words make me think. And that one is called Consider This. What if it's all perfect? Whatever shit's going on in your life might just be leading you someplace fantastic. Brian, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, everybody, I think you've got this. Allowing magnificence is about you. It's about challenges. It's about a different frame to get through it. Very revealing about my own personal life. It's the only time I've ever told bits and pieces of my story. If you want to know where I came from, how this happened for me, how I sorted my way out, because there was no information anywhere to help me with my existing life. Believe me, I tried every book, it didn't exist. So I came up with my own philosophy. Okay. Allowing Magnificence on audiobook. Let's see what else. We've got, I'm in California, he's in New Jersey. Y'all have to just sort the thing in between here. Okay. You have to make a regular commitment every other month. It has to be an agreed upon thing. Okay. I don't know. Okay. So thank you, everybody. This was a viewer request. I need you to write to me. Write to me and let me know the topics you want to hear. This was viewer request from last week. Okay. Somebody's written, Susan, I want to hear about self-confidence and self-worth. All right. This is how to do it. You are choosing. You are making decisions. Don't forget, it's not just them making decisions about you. Okay. Gwyneth and B, thank you so much. I know there's been a time change. Brian Pablo is so generous, so generous. Thank you so much. Remember, all of our attempts at love are the dues paid for entry into this magnificent opportunity. Okay. Everybody, I will see you next week. Everybody, thank you. Go to susanwinter.net, book a consultation, check out my shop page, check out the merch, which is fun. Take care, everybody. See you next week. Thank you for your contributions. Bye-bye now.